Hi, I'm Vicki Cox. As a child, I was baptized. I took catechism class. I took my first Holy Communion, and I was married in the little home church, a small community church where everyone knew and helped everyone. After moving to Palmyra, we drove to our home church 3 Sundays a month. Other Sundays, I would attend a church here in Palmyra. Tragedy struck us a year after we moved here. My husband didn't come home from work one night. I prayed to God to bring him home to me, our 2 children, and the 2 foster children we were planning to adopt. The pastor of the church that I attended here on a Sunday was the chaplain on duty the night the police came to tell me that my husband was never coming home. As he drove me to the hospital, I told him I didn't want a sermon, and I couldn't understand how, after all we had gone through, God would take him away from us. I had the pastor of our home church in Reading do the funeral because she had been with us through so many of our trials. My current husband wanted to get married in church, so I decided to go back to the church in order to fill that request. The pastor who was with me that dreadful night was the man who married Jay and I. He remarked that day that he was honored to be a part of the joyful time in our lives, since he was with me that awful night. But I stopped attending that church shortly after we got married. After my daughter was invited to attend youth group at Palmyra BIC, she would invite me to go to Sunday services, but I usually declined. Before she went on a mission trip, I had to go to learn about the trip, so I stayed for church. I started attending more often, and then my younger children started participating in the youth group. I wanted to become more active and try to be a more supporting mom. Certain songs on a Sunday morning would bring me back to the days I was faithful as a child. I would get emotional during singing. Messages that Pastor Terry delivered just hit home. This past spring, I attended the women's retreat, and during an evening session, something just clicked. I got very emotional and realized I needed and wanted to be the child of God I once was. Shortly after that meeting, I spoke with Pastor Amanda and asked how I go about being baptized. Since attending women's retreat and needing to be baptized, I have found a peace in my daily life. I pray throughout the day, not just for what is happening in my life, but for my friends and even for strangers. I listen to a Christian radio station, although I still enjoy the older familiar hymns. My desire in life is to continue to serve God in whatever capacity He chooses. My new favorite Bible verse has become Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future.